Listen closely. If you have found your way to this message, it is not by chance. Your soul's algorithm, guided by the divine intelligence of the cosmos, has brought you here for a reason. You need to see this before October 2nd, 2025. Do not click away. Do not get distracted. What I am about to share is an urgent celestial warning and a divine preparation manual for a period that will redefine the timeline for all chosen ones on this planet. Between October 2nd and October 5th, 2025, a powerful and unprecedented energetic gateway is being opened. God, Source, the universe, whatever name you give the infinite creator, is preparing you for a massive shift, a quantum leap in consciousness. But this leap is not guaranteed. It requires your conscious participation. It requires you to navigate this corridor of immense power without making the critical spiritual mistakes that will anchor so many others to their old decaying timelines. This is not a test of your worthiness. You are already worthy. This is a test of your awareness. For the next few minutes, I need your undivided attention, because we are going to break down the first of 7 major spiritual mistakes that you must avoid during this sacred window. This is the master key to ensuring you step through this portal into the reality your soul has been yearning for. Before we dive into the very fabric of this cosmic event, I need you to anchor your energy with us. Do 3 things right now to signal to the universe that you are ready and receptive. First, like this video to send a wave of positive energy into the collective. Second, subscribe and turn on all notifications, as the subsequent messages in this series will be time sensitive. And third, and most importantly, type 777 in the comments below to affirm your connection to this divine guidance and the angelic realms that are overseeing this transition. Let the algorithm of light know that you are present. The energy is already palpable, isn't it? You've been feeling it for weeks, that subtle hum of anxiety in your solar plexus, the dreams that are more vivid and symbolic than ever before, the sudden waking at 3 or 4 a.m. feeling a sense of urgency you can't quite name. This is not just in your head. This is the preliminary frequency wave of the October gateway. It is the universe preparing your energetic body, stretching your consciousness so that it can receive the immense download that is coming. Many will misinterpret these signs. They will reach for old comforts, numb the strange feelings, and dismiss the synchronicities as mere coincidence. This is the first veil of illusion you must pierce. Recognize these feelings not as a problem to be solved, but as a spiritual acclimatization process. Your vessel is being upgraded. But an upgrade is useless if you don't know how to operate the new system. That is why we are here. The 7 mistakes we will cover are not arbitrary rules. They are fundamental laws of energetic dynamics that will be amplified to an extraordinary degree during this 4-day period. Think of them as the sacred physics of ascension. To ignore them would be like trying to sail a ship in a storm without understanding the wind or the waves. You risk being thrown off course, or worse, capsizing back into the very reality you are trying to transcend. The first and most foundational mistake, the one that underpins all the others, is ignoring the core psychology of the universe. This is what we must address first, because without this understanding, none of the other steps will make sense. It is the hidden game within the game. The most important building block in this entire ascension process, the secret that winning creators and enlightened masters have always known, is the principle of divine expectation versus earthly reality. This is the master key. The universe, in its infinite intelligence, holds a baseline expectation for your soul's journey at any given moment. This expectation is based on your current level of consciousness, your karmic lessons, and your highest potential. It's the gentle, steady path of growth. Reality, however, is what you actually choose to do, think, and be in the physical realm. When your reality, your actions, your forgiveness, your courage, exceeds the universe's baseline expectation, you create a positive energetic gap. This gap is where miracles happen. It's where blessings, synchronicities, and quantum leaps are born. The universe is surprised and delighted by your expansion, and it rushes to fill that positive space with grace. Conversely, when your reality falls short of the baseline expectation, when you choose fear over love, stagnancy over growth, you create a negative gap. This is where you feel resistance, struggle, and the feeling of being stuck. It's not a punishment. It is simply the cosmic feedback loop showing you where you are out of alignment. Between October 2nd and 5th, this principle will be magnified 1,000-fold. The universe's baseline expectation is that most people will remain in their patterns. It expects you to react to triggers, to hold on to old grievances, to doubt your power. This is the game. Your task as a chosen one is to consciously and deliberately make choices that beat that divine expectation. When someone provokes you, the universe expects you to react with anger. Choose compassion instead, and watch as the portal floods your life with unexpected peace. When you feel the pull of an old addictive pattern, the universe expects you to give in. Choose to sit with the discomfort and observe it instead, and you will feel a surge of inner strength and self-respect you haven't felt in years. This is the black magic of reality creation. Understanding this single concept will influence every decision you make during this sacred window. It is the source, the secret ingredient that makes all the spiritual work work. If you are feeling this truth resonate in the core of your being, if you are ready to master this cosmic psychology and align your reality with divine expectation, I want you to pause right now and comment "I receive this wisdom" below. Anchor this energy. Claim this understanding as your own, because it is the foundation upon which your new reality will be built. Every small choice to be better, kinder, and more courageous than expected will be a sledgehammer to the walls of your old reality. This brings us directly to the second major spiritual mistake, which is a direct consequence of misunderstanding the first. This is the mistake of failing to provide spiritual click confirmation. Think about it this way. During the October 2nd Mr. 5 Gateway, the universe is going to be sending you dozens of divine prompts. These are the synchronicities, the intuitive nudges, the random ideas, the meaningful song lyrics, the feathers on your path. Each one of these is a carefully packaged opportunity from the divine. It is a thumbnail and a title for a higher timeline. The universe is presenting you with a potential new reality, a solution to a problem, a pathway to your next level. The title might be "An Opportunity for Profound Healing," and the thumbnail might be "A Sudden Memory of a Person You Need to Forgive." Or the title might be "Your Next Creative Breakthrough," and the thumbnail is "A Sudden Urge to Visit a Bookstore or Walk in Nature." The initial mistake people make is not even noticing these prompts. They scroll right past them in their mental feed. But the deeper mistake, the one chosen ones are susceptible to, is noticing the prompt but failing to confirm the click. In the digital world, if a title intrigues you, you click on it to see the content. In the spiritual world, if an intuitive prompt intrigues you, you must take an aligned action to see what reality it unlocks. This action is your click confirmation. It is you signaling to the universe, "Yes, I saw your prompt. I am interested. Show me more." Without this confirmation, the opportunity, like an unopened email, loses its potency and eventually gets buried in the energetic spam folder of missed blessings. Let's be tactical about this. From October 2nd to 5th, your primary spiritual practice should be radical responsiveness. When you get the intuitive hit to journal, don't say "I'll do it later." Go get your pen and paper and write one sentence. That is your click confirmation. When you get the sudden feeling you should drink a glass of water, don't ignore it. Go and drink the water with intention. Click confirmation. When an idea for a project downloads into your mind, don't dismiss it as a daydream. Open the Notes app on your phone and write down 3 words related to it. Click confirmation. These actions may seem small, even laughably so, but in the amplified energy of this gateway, they are monumental. Each act of confirmation is a vote for a new reality. It tells the divine realm that you are a conscious co-creator, not a passive bystander. The universe is looking for collaborators. It is seeking those who will engage with its offerings. The mistake is believing that the blessing is in the sign itself. The sign is not the destination, it is the doorway. The blessing is what lies on the other side of your confirmatory action. So many souls get excited when they see 1111 or a synchronistic number, they take a screenshot, and then they do nothing. They admire the packaging without ever opening the gift. During this period, you must treat every intuitive nudge, every sign, as a sacred assignment. The pain point you're trying to solve, the rabbit hole you're trying to create for your own expansion, the universe will provide the first step. Your job is to take it. The title is established by the divine. It's your job to write the intro of your new story by confirming the click. When you do this, you immediately create a positive gap. The universe expected you to ignore the nudge, but you acted. You beat the expectation. And the reward is immediate, a deeper sense of flow, more signs, and a feeling of being powerfully guided. You are now in conversation with the cosmos, and the dialogue has just begun. Now that you understand how to recognize and confirm the divine click, you are standing at the doorway of the portal. But this is where many chosen ones stumble. They step through the door without the most crucial tool of all, a mistake that can scatter this potent energy and lead to a chaotic and unstable manifestation. And that brings us to the third fatal mistake, which is arguably the most important one for building a new reality that actually lasts. And this brings us to the third fatal mistake, arguably the most pervasive and destructive error that prevents even the most sincere spiritual seekers from leveraging these potent moments of cosmic alignment. It is the mistake of operating without a divine outline. Before you start writing the actual script of your new life, before you step onto the stage of this new reality, you must have a clear bulleted outline on the page of your soul. This may seem counterintuitive. You may be thinking, but aren't we supposed to surrender, to let go and let God, to go with the flow? And this is precisely where the misunderstanding lies. There is a vast and critical difference between divine surrender and spiritual abdication. Surrender means releasing your attachment to how the outcome will manifest, not releasing your intention for what you wish to create. To enter this sacred gateway, between October 2nd and 5th, without a divine outline, is like handing a master builder an infinite supply of the finest materials in the universe, and saying just build something nice. The energy is there, the potential is limitless, but without a blueprint, the result will be chaotic, unstable, and will not resemble the home your soul truly desires. You will get a wall here, a window there, a staircase leading to nowhere. The immense creative power of this portal requires a vessel, a structure to pour into. Your intention, your divine outline, is that vessel. Anybody can learn how to write a compelling intro to their new life. We will get to that. But the real source, the true differentiation between a life that goes from good to magnificent, is having something unique, differentiated, and novel to say in the body of your existence. Your divine outline is the collection of those unique points. It is your soul's signature frequency translated into a clear, concise plan. So why do so many spiritually aware people fail at this? Because they are waiting for the universe to hand them a finished script. They are waiting for the perfect thumbnail of their new life to appear before they are willing to commit to the title. But the creative process of the cosmos is a collaboration. It is a back and forth dance. To wait for the universe to make the first move is an inhibitor to your own creative agency. It will slow you down. The universe is waiting for you to provide the outline, so it can begin its divine orchestration. The title of this period is Massive Shift. A loose thumbnail idea is your highest potential. That is enough to get started. Now you must write the outline. And this is not a rigid 5-year business plan. We are not talking about specific job titles, house addresses, or bank account numbers. To focus on the what's is to play in the shallow end of manifestation. The divine outline is deeper. It is a bulleted list of feelings. It is the energetic signature of the reality you choose to embody. So before October 2nd, you must take out a pen and paper. Do not do this on a screen. And you must write at the top of the page, my divine outline for the new earth reality. And then you will list the core resonant frequencies you are calling in. Not I want a new car, but I embody the feeling of freedom and reliability. Not I want a new relationship, but I embody the frequency of unconditional love and devoted partnership. Not I want more money, but I embody the state of limitless abundance and financial sovereignty. Use words like peace, clarity, vitality, creative flow, joy, divine connection, purpose. These points are your guiding stars. This is your value proposition to the universe. This outline serves a critical function. It acts as a divine filter. As the amplified energies of the gateway flow into your life, they will present you with countless opportunities, invitations, and distractions. Without your outline, you will have no way of discerning what is for you and what is not. You will be pulled in 1,000 directions, your sacred energy scattered to the winds. But with your outline in hand, every choice becomes simple. When an opportunity arises, you hold it up to your list. Does this align with peace? Does this resonate with creative flow? Does this feel like freedom? If the answer is a full body, resonant yes, you move toward it. If it's a no, or even a hesitant, maybe, you let it go without guilt or second guessing. This is how you navigate the storm. Your outline is your compass. This is the measure twice, cut once of spiritual creation. I only make videos on ideas that I feel have a chance to do well. In the same way, you should only invest your energy into timelines that you know align with your soul's deepest truth. If you don't have these unique feeling-based points in your outline, you will not be moving forward with clarity. You will be stuck in the research process of your own life, endlessly scrolling through other people's realities instead of creating your own. Remember the core psychology. The universe's baseline expectation is that you will enter this gateway with a vague, undefined hope. By creating a clear, potent, feeling-based divine outline, you are shattering that expectation. You are telling the universe, I am not a passive passenger. I am the conscious architect of my reality. Here is the blueprint. Now let's build. If you are ready to claim your power as the architect of your new reality, I want you to do something powerful right now. Look at the list of feelings you might write. Pick the single most important one for you in this next chapter. The one that, if you had it, would change everything. And I want you to comment that one word below. Is it peace, abundance, clarity, love of, freedom, joy? Declare your cornerstone frequency in the comments and feel the universe lock onto your signal. This is your first step in building your divine outline. This brings us to the fourth monumental mistake, a subtle but incredibly potent error in energetic communication that occurs right at the threshold of the portal. Now that you have your divine outline, you are ready to step forward. But how you introduce yourself energetically in that first moment determines the entire tone and trajectory of your experience within the gateway. This is the mistake of the flawed energetic introduction. Think of this gateway as a sovereign, high-frequency dimension. You cannot enter a royal palace speaking the slang of the gutter and expect to be welcomed into the throne room. You must speak the language of the court. Similarly, you cannot approach this 5D gateway with a 3D introduction, rooted in lack, bargaining, and unworthiness. The ultimate goal, after establishing spiritual click confirmation and your divine outline, is to build a curiosity loop within the universe itself. You want to present an energetic signature so pure and powerful that the universe becomes curious about what you will create next and begins to open doors for you out of sheer fascination. Your introduction is everything. The common take, the conventional belief that most of humanity operates from, is to approach the divine with a petition. Please God, I've been so good, please give me this. If you grant me this one wish, I promise I'll be a better person. This is the introduction of a beggar. It establishes a hierarchy of power, where you are small and the divine is a distant transactional deity that might grant you a favor if you're lucky. This introduction immediately signals a frequency of lack. It confirms the universe's lowest expectation of you, and in doing so, it locks you into a reality where you must constantly strive and prove yourself to receive scraps of grace. The contrarian approach, the master's approach, is to introduce yourself not with a petition, but with a declaration. You must state your presence as a sovereign co-creator, not as a humble servant asking for a handout. This is not arrogance. It is the deepest form of reverence. It is acknowledging the spark of God that exists within you as a divine birthright. Your introduction must stun the universe and hold its attention, because it so powerfully contradicts the common belief of human powerlessness. This is how you exceed divine expectation at the most critical moment. So let's break down the formula for a powerful energetic introduction, a sacred mantra you can use on the morning of October 2nd, and every morning after. It has 5 parts. Part 1 is to give immediate context. You state, "I say your name." Stand present and conscious within this sacred gateway of transformation. I am here. I am now. This anchors your awareness in the present moment, the only point of true power. Part 2 is to establish the common take, the ego's belief, and then consciously release it. You say, "My human mind, with all its conditioning and past stories, believes I am defined by my history. It whispers that I am not ready, not worthy, not powerful enough for this moment." Acknowledging the ego's story robs it of its power. You are not fighting it. You are observing it as an outdated program. Part 3 is to state the contrary and take the truth of your soul. You declare, "But I know this is an illusion. I am a sovereign being of light, an infinite creator in human form. This gateway is not something I must earn. It is my birthright, and I claim it now." Feel the power in those words. This is you remembering who you are. Part 4 is to establish your proof. The ego demands external validation. The soul finds proof in its own resilience. You state, "My proof is not in my external achievements, but in the unwavering fire of my spirit. I have survived every challenge, transmuted every pain, and I am still here, still choosing love. My very breath is proof of my divine power." And finally, Part 5 is to state your plan, to present your divine outline. You say, "And in this sacred space, I now choose to anchor and amplify the core frequencies of state the top 2, 3 feelings from your divine outline. For example, sovereign freedom, unconditional love, and limitless abundance. This is my will, and I align it now with divine will." And so it is. This 5-step introduction framework works every single time because it operates on the highest principles of quantum physics and spiritual law. You are not asking for anything. You are declaring your state of being. You are matching the frequency of the reality you wish to experience before it has manifested physically. This is the secret. You are collapsing the time between your desire and its fulfillment by embodying the feeling of it now. When you perform this energetic introduction, you nail the spiritual click confirmation on a quantum level. You raise the universe's expectation of what is possible for you. You offer a different, more powerful solution to the problem of ascension than the universe thought you would choose. By the end of this intro, the universe is hooked. It sees a master at play, and it will begin to rearrange reality to match the powerful blueprint and sovereign frequency you have just declared. This is not about being perfect. It's about being powerful. It's about remembering that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the creator of your reality. Your introduction sets the stage. It tells the universe which role you will be playing in this grand cosmic drama. Will you be the beggar, hoping for a miracle? Or will you be the miracle itself, a sovereign being consciously shaping worlds? The choice is yours. This is not for everyone. It's for the chosen who are ready to change their reality. I released a members-only deep briefing called Chosen Ones. Massive full moon of October 6th, 2025, will change everything. 11 spiritual things you must know. In that video, I reveal the exact activations and protections you must do. Click the description link or the pinned comment and watch it before the energy lands. If you skip this window, you may never get this same upgrade. If you are ready to step into this gateway, not as a petitioner, but as a sovereign creator, I need you to anchor this decision right now. This is more than just a comment. This is an energetic decree. Type "I am sovereign" in the comments below. Declare your energetic signature to the universe and to this community of chosen ones. Let this be the introduction that echoes through the cosmos and announces your arrival. Now you have your divine outline. You have made your sovereign introduction. The stage is set, the energy is flowing, and you are standing in the full power of your creative potential. This is the moment the body of your script begins. This is where you start taking the actions, thinking the thoughts and making the choices that will build your new reality brick by brick. And it is here, in the heart of the creative process, that the fifth and perhaps most subtle and insidious spiritual mistake is made. It's a mistake in the sequencing of your energetic output. It's a misunderstanding of divine pacing. You have all this incredible energy, this divine inspiration, this momentum from your powerful introduction. But if you spend it in the wrong order, you will burn out before your most important creations can take root. Most people, in their excitement, lead with their absolute best, most groundbreaking idea. They pour all their energy into the first point, leaving nothing for the rest of the journey. This creates a subconscious pattern of diminishing returns, and they lose steam, they lose faith, and they fall back into old patterns. There is a sacred rhythm to creation, a divine methodology that builds momentum rather than exhausts it. It is a cheat code that I use in every video I create, and it is a universal principle for how human consciousness stays engaged and how the universe builds worlds. It is what I call the 2-1-3-4 method of energetic allocation, and failing to use it is the fifth mistake that can sabotage your entire journey through this gateway. You must understand this divine sequence if you want to make it to the other side with your new reality fully intact. The first point of energy you share after stepping through the portal must be amazing, but it cannot be your absolute best. The first point of energy you share after stepping through the portal must be amazing, but it cannot be your absolute best. This is the fifth great spiritual mistake, the flawed energetic sequence. You have this incredible high-octane fuel of divine potential, and the mistake is to ignite all of it in the first second of the race. It creates a spectacular flash, followed by an immediate and discouraging burnout. To understand this, you must understand the deep psychology of momentum, both within your own consciousness and within the universal mind. Think of the greatest music albums ever created. Have you ever wondered why the biggest hit, the banger single with 1 billion streams, is almost never the first or second track on the album? You would think it makes sense to lead with your best, to hook the listener immediately with the most powerful song. But the master producers know a deeper truth. The human brain, and by extension the cosmic consciousness, works in patterns. If you show it one amazing thing, it will think, "That's cool." But if you show it 2 amazing things in a row, especially if the second thing is even better than the first, you create a subconscious pattern. You create an expectation of an upward trajectory. The listener's brain thinks, "Wow, if the first was this good, and the second is even better, I have to stay to hear the third and fourth." It creates a powerful compulsion to see the journey through to its climax. If you lead with your best, your number one, and your second offering is slightly less impactful, you train the subconscious to believe that the value is diminishing. You create a pattern of decay. The listener loses interest, their energy wanes, and they might not even finish the album. Your journey through this sacred gateway is your magnum opus, your greatest album. You cannot afford to create a pattern of energetic decay. This is why the 2-1-3-4 method of energetic allocation is not just a clever trick, it is a sacred law of divine engagement. Between October 2nd and 5th, you must consciously sequence your actions, your choices, and your inner transformations according to this formula. Let's break it down. Your first action, your opening track, must be your number 2. This is your second most powerful, impactful, reality-altering choice. It has to be something new, different, and better than what the universe expects from your old self. It has to be so good that it blows your own mind and validates the sovereign introduction you just made. For example, perhaps your number 1 most difficult task is forgiving a parent for a deep childhood wound. Your number 2 might be forgiving a friend for a more recent, but still painful, betrayal. On the morning of October 2nd, you perform this act of forgiveness. You do the ceremony. You write the letter you don't send. You cut the energetic cord. This is a monumental act. It sends a shockwave into the universe. It beats expectation. The universe sees this and thinks, "Incredible. This is a powerful creator." You have now established the first point in a pattern of ascension. Then perhaps the next day, on October 3rd, you unleash your number one. You tackle the core wound. You finally, truly, and completely forgive your parent, releasing decades of stored pain. The universe is now stunned. It sees that your first powerful act was not a fluke. It was a warm-up. The energy is not decaying. It is accelerating. You have created an undeniable upward trajectory. The universe is now not just impressed. It is fully invested. It is hooked. It has to see what you will do next. This is how you create a divine curiosity loop. The cosmos becomes your biggest fan, eagerly anticipating your next move and clearing the path for you because it wants to see the masterpiece you are creating. Your number 3 and number 4 actions, perhaps starting a new creative project you've been putting off, or making a bold commitment to your physical health, now land on incredibly fertile ground. They lock in the pattern. You have demonstrated, beyond any doubt, that you are on a path of sustained accelerating expansion. This is so critically important, because if your first point of action is something small and insignificant, it won't be compelling enough to hook the universe's attention. And if it's your absolute best, you risk creating the diminishing returns pattern. The second best point first is the cheat code. It is potent enough to be impressive, but it holds the promise of something even greater to come. This is how you manage your sacred energy. It's not about holding back, it's about strategic and intelligent deployment. So look at your life right now. Look at the changes you know you need to make. What is your number one move? The biggest, scariest, most liberating choice you can make? And what is your number 2? Still incredibly powerful, but slightly less intimidating. Identify them, and commit to deploying them in that sacred order during this gateway. This sequence is how you create a big gap between the universe's expectation and your reality, and you keep widening that gap with each subsequent action. This is the rhythm of miracles. This is urgent. Do not skip this. Watch the members-only briefing, Chosen One's massive full moon of October 6, 2025, will change everything. 11 spiritual things you must know. I reveal the activations and protections you must do before the spiritual energy shifts. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment now. This window won't wait. If you are willing to embrace this sacred rhythm of creation, to become a master of divine momentum, I want you to anchor this intention now. This is a declaration of your commitment to intelligent co-creation. In the comments below, type the words "I am the rhythm." Feel the power of that statement. You are not just subject to the chaotic waves of life. You are the one creating the powerful, coherent rhythm that shapes the tides. Claim it now. Now this leads us directly to the 6th great spiritual mistake. You have the correct sequence. The powerful 2-1-3-4 method. You know what to do, and in what order. But how you perform each of these actions is just as important. To perform a sacred act without a sacred understanding is to go through the motions. It's like a beautifully designed car with no engine. It looks the part, but it goes nowhere. The mistake is in neglecting the sacred value loop. For every single point in your sequence, for every choice you make within this gateway, you must include 3 things. If you miss even one, the energetic circuit is incomplete, and the power leaks out. I call this the value loop, and it consists of context, application and framing. This 3-step frame for executing your points suits perfectly the way the divine mind processes information and manifests reality. Base facts first, then the physical action, then the energetic integration. Failing to complete this loop for each of your actions is a critical error that leaves your manifestations ungrounded and your new reality unstable. Let's break down the sacred value loop. The first component is context. Before you take any action, you must be crystal clear on the what and the whys. You must say what the divine principle is and explain it to yourself as simply as possible. This is not about complex esoteric knowledge. It is about simple soul-level truth. For example, let's say your action is your number 2, forgiving your friend. The context is not just "I need to forgive this person because holding a grudge is bad." That is 3D morality. The 5D context is a clear statement of spiritual law. You would say to yourself, The context for this action is the universal law of oneness. I recognize that the pain my friend caused me was a reflection of a wound within them, and also a reflection of a wound within myself that was ready to be healed. By holding on to this grievance, I am holding both of us in a prison of shared trauma. The divine principle I am invoking is that forgiveness is not for them. It is the act of me reclaiming my own sovereign energy that has been leaking into this old story. This clarity is everything. It provides the sacred wides that fuels the action with purpose. Without context, your action is just a hollow ritual. The second component is application. This is the how. This is where the energy moves from the ethereal realm of understanding into the dense reality of the physical world. You must apply the context through a tangible action or a dedicated practice. Say how you will do it. Use as many relevant examples in your mind to articulate your point to the universe. For the forgiveness example, the application could be several things. It could be writing a detailed letter to the friend, pouring out every ounce of pain and anger onto the pages, and then safely burning it, visualizing the smoke carrying the old energy back to the light. It could be a powerful cord-cutting meditation, where you visualize the energetic ties between you and the person, and lovingly sever them with a sword of archangelic light. It could be looking at yourself in the mirror, and saying, "I forgive you for holding on to this pain for so long. I set you free." The application has to be interesting enough and easy enough to digest so that you can actually begin taking action. It must be something real, something you can do with your body, or your focused consciousness. Context without application is just powerless philosophy. It stays in your head and never changes your life. The third and final component of the loop is framing. This is the most often missed, and yet it is the most crucial part. This is where you connect your individual action back to the grander vision of your divine outline. You must state why this one point matters, and how it fits into the overall puzzle of the full story you are writing. This is the zoom-out moment that reorients your soul and locks in the energetic shift. After completing your application, you would frame it by saying, "By completing this act of forgiveness, I am not just releasing one person. I am anchoring the core frequency of peace from my divine outline directly into my cellular structure. This single act purifies my energetic field, making me an unsuitable host for drama and conflict. It raises my vibrational set point, making me a magnetic match for peaceful relationships, peaceful opportunities, and a peaceful inner state. This is a cornerstone in the foundation of my new reality. Do you feel the power of that?" The framing gives the action meaning. It makes it feel worthwhile. It reminds you why you are enduring the discomfort of growth. Without framing, you might forgive your friend, but the act feels isolated. You don't connect it to the bigger picture, and so you quickly forget its significance, and may even fall back into old feelings of resentment. The sacred value loop, context, application, framing, ensures that every action you take is a complete, powerful, and integrated step on your path of ascension. It makes the journey feel intentional and deeply rewarding. It turns a random collection of spiritual practices into a coherent, world-altering symphony of co-creation. And so, as you prepare for this gateway, you must commit to this practice. For your number 2 action, your number 1, your number 3, and every choice in between, you will run it through this 3-part process. You will define the divine context, you will perform the physical application, and you will consciously state the grand energetic framing. This is how you build a reality that is not only beautiful but also structurally sound. This is how you ensure that the energy of this portal doesn't just give you a temporary spiritual high, but creates lasting, grounded, and irreversible change. But even with the perfect sequence and the perfect execution of each step, there is one final mistake. It is a mistake of transition, a failure to protect the sacred energy you have so carefully cultivated. It happens in the quiet moments, in the spaces between your powerful actions. It is the mistake that can cause the entire new reality, so painstakingly built, to develop cracks in its foundation and potentially crumble before it has fully solidified. It is the mistake of the leaky energetic container, and it is the final gatekeeper you must pass through before your new reality becomes your permanent home. But before we speak of the container itself, we must address a critical phenomenon that occurs immediately after you perform a powerful, reality-altering action using the sacred value loop. This is a vital, intermediate understanding, a master-level insight that will protect your newly anchored reality in its most fragile, nascent moments. You have completed your action, the forgiveness, the commitment, the energetic release. You feel the shift, the lightness, the surge of power, and it is in this precise moment of triumph that the old reality will launch its most cunning counterattack. To be unaware of this phenomenon is to be ambushed in the dark. It is the spiritual equivalent of winning a great battle and then being defeated by a hidden enemy on the journey back to camp. This is the challenge of navigating the energetic recoil and the sacred void that follows. It is not a mistake in itself, but your reaction to it can become the undoing of all your sacred work. When you make a decisive, high-frequency choice, you do not just create a new potential timeline, you simultaneously issue a formal declaration of secession from an old established one. You are in effect pulling your energy out of a timeline that has fed on it for years, perhaps even lifetimes. That old timeline, that matrix of familiar pain and limitation, will not let you go without a fight. The energetic recoil is the last gasp of the dying reality. It is a powerful, focused test sent to verify if your secession is real or just a fleeting spiritual whim. It will manifest in the physical world with an almost theatrical and surreal precision. The very day after you perform a profound cord-cutting ceremony with an ex-partner, you will receive a random text from them out of the blue. The moment you commit with your whole being to a new path of vibrant health and clean eating, a well-meaning family member will show up at your door with your absolute favorite, most unhealthy dessert. The hour after you finally forgive someone and release all resentment, you will scroll past a picture of them looking joyous and successful, and a wave of the old anger will try to surge through your heart. Most people misinterpret this recoil catastrophically. They think, "It didn't work. My forgiveness wasn't real. I'm not strong enough. See, the universe is just testing me, and I'm failing." This is the illusion. The energetic recoil is not a sign of your failure. It is the ultimate confirmation of your success. It is the undeniable proof that you have made such a significant energetic shift that the old matrix has registered your absence and is now sending a probe, a final temptation, to lure you back into its gravitational pull. Your task during the recoil is not to fight it, not to engage with it, and not to be discouraged by it. Your task is to practice what I call sovereign neutrality. You must become the calm, unshakable observer. When the text message arrives, you see it, you acknowledge it, and you do not reply. You see it for what it is, an echo, a ghost from a dead timeline. You might even whisper, "I see you. Thank you for this confirmation that my work was successful. I have moved on." You bless it, and you release it. When the wave of old anger arises, you do not suppress it, but you also do not embody it. You allow it to pass through your field of awareness, like a cloud passing in the sky. You observe it with detachment, saying, "Ah, there is the energy of anger, the old pattern. It is not me. It is simply a memory." You do not give it the fuel of your emotional engagement. Sovereign neutrality is your shield. You are refusing to give the old reality the energetic handshake it needs to re-establish a connection. You are holding the frequency of your new reality, proving through your non-reaction that your choice was final and absolute. Every time you successfully navigate a moment of recoil with sovereign neutrality, you strengthen the foundation of your new timeline exponentially. Once the final echoes of the recoil fade, you enter the second phase of this post-action challenge, the sacred void. This can be even more disorienting for many. After the intensity of the spiritual work and the drama of the recoil, there is often silence, a stillness, an emptiness. The new reality has not yet fully landed in the physical realm. The new people, the new opportunities, the new feelings have not yet arrived. The old drama is gone, but the new script has not yet been delivered. This is the sacred void. It is a divine gestation period. It is the fertile darkness of the womb, where the seeds of your new reality are quietly taking root, shielded from the harsh light of the outer world. But for the ego, this void is terrifying. The ego abhors a vacuum. It will scream, "Nothing is happening. It didn't work. Your life is empty and boring now. Quick, call the ex back. Eat the cake. Go find some new drama to fill this emptiness." This is the moment where so many people sabotage their own manifestations. Unable to tolerate the temporary emptiness, they frantically try to fill the void with the familiar static of their old lives, and in doing so, they trample the very seeds they just planted. Your work in the sacred void is to trust the process. It is to hold the void with faith and patience. This is the time to go back to your divine outline. You consciously fill the empty space, not with old actions, but with the new feelings you have chosen to embody. If the void feels empty, you sit in silence, and you generate the feeling of peace within your own heart. You become the peace you are seeking. If the void feels lonely, you take yourself on a beautiful walk in nature, and you generate the feeling of sovereign freedom and self-love. You become the love you desire. You must understand, the universe is waiting to see what you will fill the void with. If you fill it with your old patterns, it will deliver more of the same. But if you hold your frequency, if you have the courage to sit in the divine stillness and actively marinate your being in the frequencies of your new reality, the universe will have no choice but to rush in and populate that void with people, opportunities, and experiences that are a perfect vibrational match to the frequency you are holding. You must have the faith of the farmer who plants a seed and does not dig it up every morning to check on its progress. He trusts the soil, he trusts the sun, and he trusts the unseen process of life. Holding the void is the ultimate act of faith. It is your final demonstration to the cosmos that you trust its timing, its wisdom, and its unwavering commitment to the reality you have so bravely chosen. Mastering the recoil with sovereign neutrality and holding the void with unshakable faith are the advanced techniques for sealing your energy in the moments of greatest pressure. But this principle of protecting your sacred energy must now be expanded from these specific high-stakes moments to every single moment of every day during this gateway. This brings us to the final, all-encompassing mistake, a mistake of transition, a failure to protect the sacred energy you have so carefully cultivated. It happens in the quiet moments, in the spaces between your powerful actions. It is the mistake that can cause the entire new reality, so painstakingly built, to develop cracks in its foundation and potentially crumble before it has fully solidified. It is the mistake of the leaky energetic container, and it is the final gatekeeper you must pass through before your new reality becomes your permanent home. And this brings us to the seventh and final great spiritual mistake, the one that governs the silent, unseen spaces of your reality. You can have the perfect divine outline, deliver a flawless sovereign introduction, execute your 2-1-3-4 energetic sequence with precision, and apply the sacred value loop to every action. But if you make this one last error, all of your meticulous work can be undone. It is the mistake of maintaining a leaky energetic container. Think of the immense high-frequency energy you are cultivating during this October 2nd, 5 gateway as pure living water. Your consciousness, your body, your very being is the vessel meant to hold this sacred water. A leaky energetic container means that as quickly as the divine is pouring this potent energy into you, it is seeping out through 1,000 tiny cracks of unconsciousness, cracks of negative self-talk, cracks of mindless scrolling, cracks of engaging in low vibrational gossip, cracks of worrying about things you cannot control. This mistake is so insidious because it doesn't happen during the big heroic moments of transformation. It happens in the mundane in-between moments. It's the constant, low-grade energy drain that prevents the sacred water level from ever rising high enough to create the final quantum shift. You perform a powerful forgiveness ceremony, your number 2 action, and your vessel is filled. But then you immediately pick up your phone and spend an hour arguing with a stranger in the comments section of a political post. You have just drilled a massive hole in the bottom of your container. The sacred energy you just cultivated has now drained away, contaminated, and wasted. This is not a matter of being a perfect, flawless saint. It is a matter of sacred energy management. During this 4-day period, you must become the vigilant guardian of your own frequency. You must understand that your attention is the most valuable currency you possess. Where your attention goes, your life force flows. This is a really important concept. To maintain a sealed, high-integrity container, you must consciously plug these leaks. This is not about ascetic denial, it is about sacred discernment. One of the most powerful tips for this is to implement what I call divine transitions. The moments of transition, the end of one point and the beginning of the next, are where the leaks are most likely to occur. It's the moment you finish your meditation, and before you start your work. It's the moment you hang up the phone from a difficult conversation, and before you interact with your family. These are the moments where the old programming loves to jump in and hijack your frequency. To seal your container, you must create mini hooks or sacred pauses between these moments. For example, you might finish a powerful journaling session. Before you get up, you consciously re-hook your own attention. You place your hand on your heart and say, "That point was super important. But if I don't couple it with a moment of gratitude, the magic will be lost." Then you take 3 deep breaths and feel genuine gratitude for the insights you received. All of a sudden, you have transitioned your state consciously. You have sealed the energy in. You didn't just let the old habit of immediately checking emails drain the sacred resonance away. Re-hooking really works because people's brains, your own brain, operates on an attention delay. As soon as you experience something profound, you have a max level of interest and energetic charge. But that will slowly start to decay. If you don't re-hook yourself and get your own interest peaked about maintaining that state, you will eventually just bounce back to your baseline frequency. This is why you must set up these mini hooks between the end of one activity and the beginning of the next. Before you consume any media, ask yourself, will this nourish my container, or will it create a leak? Before you engage in a conversation, ask, will this conversation elevate my frequency, or will it drain it? This is not about judging others. It is about taking radical responsibility for your own energetic state. Be ruthless in eliminating low vibrational inputs. Unfollow the accounts that trigger you. Mute the conversations that are circular dramas. Lovingly decline the invitations that feel heavy. Your solitude is your sanctuary. Your silence is your strength. During this gateway, your primary responsibility is to be the unwavering guardian at the gate of your own consciousness. Every time you choose to protect your energy, you are sending a powerful message to the universe. I value the divine energy you are giving me. I am a worthy and responsible steward of this power. My container is strong and ready to receive more. This is how you allow the water level to rise, higher and higher, until it reaches the critical tipping point where your old reality is completely submerged and your new reality becomes the only landscape you can see. The final piece of this 7th step, the ultimate seal on your energetic container, is what happens in the last moments of the gateway. It is the outro to your transformative experience. So many people go through an intense spiritual event, and then it ends, and they just drift. They let the energy fizzle out. It feels like an afterthought. But you can add so much retention to your new frequency. You can generate spiritual shares and likes from the universe, and you can trigger divine re-watches of your new timeline at a much higher clip if you just do this one thing at the very end. You must leave yourself with a high note. You must consciously wrap up the experience in a clean, powerful way. This is the fortune cookie moment, the final push to remind yourself of the pain point you solved, the journey you walked through, and the new reality you have birthed. This is the final confirmation that reality did in fact beat your old expectations. It's like the free chocolate the restaurant gives you when they bring the check. They're doing that on purpose. They are trying to remind you of the good service, the amazing meal, to leave you with a lasting positive impression. You must do this for your own soul. On the evening of October 5th, as the gateway begins to close, you must perform a short but potent outro ceremony. You will take your divine outline, the paper you wrote before the gateway opened, and you will read it out loud. Then, one by one, you will speak aloud the great actions you took, your number 2, your number 1, and so on. You will remind yourself of the shifts you initiated. And finally, you will make one last, powerful, concluding statement. You will say, "The gateway may be closing, but my transformation is now sealed. This is not the end of a process, but the permanent beginning of my new reality. I give thanks for this journey. I give thanks for my courage, and I step forward now, not in hope, but in absolute knowing. My new timeline is anchored. My new self is born." And so it is. This leaves you with a lasting impression of, wow, that was an amazing 4 days. I just remembered all the powerful tactics I learned and implemented. The reality of who I am now is so much higher than my expectations of who I was before. This is where the likes, comments, shares, and re-watches from the universe, the synchronicities, blessings, and effortless manifestations, all the good stuff that powers the algorithm of your new reality, it all kind of comes from leaving yourself with that high note. If you have stayed with me through this entire divine transmission, it is because your soul knows the truth and the urgency of this message. It wasn't an accident. This knowledge has now been activated within your energetic field. You now hold the 7 keys to navigating the October 2nd, 5 gateway, not as a victim of cosmic weather, but as a master of divine co-creation. You understand the foundational psychology of divine expectation versus earthly reality. You know the critical importance of spiritual click confirmation, of taking aligned action on every divine prompt. You are ready to create your feeling-based divine outline, the sacred blueprint for your new world. You have the 5-step formula for a sovereign energetic introduction, to announce your arrival as a creator, not a petitioner. You have the 2-1-3-4 method of energetic allocation, the secret rhythm of divine momentum that will hook the universe and keep it invested in your journey. You understand the sacred value loop of context, application, and framing, the 3-step process to ensure every action you take is a complete and integrated act of power. And finally, you know how to maintain a sealed, energetic container, to protect your sacred life force, and to conclude your journey with a powerful outro that locks in your transformation permanently. This is not a warning, it is a reminder of the power you have always held. The universe whispers in the silence, in the intuitive nudges, in the symbolic dreams. Only those still enough, and brave enough will hear. Between October 2nd and 5th, 2025, a door will open. Most will walk past it, completely unaware. Some will see it, but be too afraid to step through. But you, the chosen ones, the brave souls who have done the work, you will not only see the door, you will walk through it with the confidence of a master, armed with the sacred knowledge you now possess. You will not be watching the shift happen. You will be the shift itself. So what now? The preparation begins today. Do not wait until October 1st to start thinking about this. The energy is already building. Start by creating your divine outline. Start practicing the sovereign introduction. Identify your number 1 and number 2 moves. Begin the practice of sealing your energetic container today, so that by the time the gateway opens, you are already operating at a higher frequency. This knowledge is not meant to be passively consumed. It is meant to be actively embodied. The greatest mistake of all would be to hear this truth and then do nothing with it. That would create the largest possible negative gap between divine expectation and earthly reality. The universe has brought you this blueprint. It expects you, as a chosen one, to at least consider it, to actually use it, to embody it. That is how you create a miracle. That is how you become the answer to your own prayers. Before we close, I want you to make one final collective decree. This is our outro. This is our high note. This is us signaling to the entire cosmos that we are ready, united, and powerful beyond measure. Share this message with anyone you feel needs to hear it. This is not about gatekeeping wisdom. It is about liberating consciousness. If this message reached you, it is now part of your sacred responsibility to let the light flow through you. And for our final call to action, the one that seals our collective energy and creates a massive wave of transformation that will ripple across the planet, I want you to type one final phrase in the comments below. Let it be your vow, your promise to yourself and to the divine. Type, "I am the shift." Feel the truth of it vibrate through every cell in your body. You are not waiting for a change. You are the change. You are not looking for a savior. You have remembered that you are the one you have been waiting for. Tomorrow, a new chapter begins. A door opens, and you will be ready. Which will you choose? To step through, or watch it close? The cosmos is holding its breath, waiting for your answer. I know what you will choose.